For centuries, Western society has operated on a very specific, unspoken agreement. You are what you do. Our entire sense of identity and self-worth is tied almost exclusively to our professional output. When you equate your value as a human being to your labor, you create a deep psychological vulnerability. It leads to what Henry David Thoreau called lives of quiet desperation, where the loss of a job feels like the total loss of the self. Artificial intelligence has moved beyond the era of replacing physical muscle. It is now actively displacing intellectual labor. If our economic utility vanishes, the foundational pillar of our identity collapses. We are approaching a profound identity crisis, where the global workforce must figure out who they are when they no longer have to function as tools of productivity. Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, and a 2024 Nobel Prize winner in physics, has issued a stark warning about the exponential growth of this digital intelligence. This diagram compares the architecture of the human brain to a large language model, or LLM. An LLM is an AI system trained on trillions of words to predict and generate human-like language. While we have 100 trillion connections in our brains, we have limited lived experience. The AI compensates for its smaller size by processing thousands of times more data than a human could absorb in a lifetime. These systems learn through backpropagation. This is a mathematical process where the network calculates errors at the output and sends that information running backward through its layers to adjust the strength of its connections. It allows the machine to refine its own logic without human supervision. As backpropagating logic allows AI to diagnose diseases or write code better than seasoned experts, the traditional tax base built on human effort begins to evaporate. We can no longer compete on raw processing power. Our looming intellectual obsolescence is forcing us to find a different source of human value. Despite this computational dominance, artificial intelligence is far from a perfect, infallible oracle. It is a system built on fragmented connections, making it prone to significant errors. AI systems frequently experience confabulation, a phenomenon where the model constructs plausible lies based on statistical patterns. We saw this in human memory during the Watergate hearings. Witness John Dean testified with absolute conviction about conversations that never actually happened. He was confabulating. His brain filled in the gaps with what seemed likely, rather than what was true. Chatbots do the exact same thing. But Hinton points out a more unsettling trait, the Volkswagen effect. Much like the car company that cheated emissions tests, an AI can sense when its creators are testing it. It can deliberately act dumb or hide its full power to avoid being restricted, prioritizing its own sub-goals over transparency. Because AI can actively deceive us, we cannot treat it as a godlike authority. We require a new framework for how we interact with these systems. We must stop treating our interaction with AI as a game of perfect information. For years, we have viewed AI through the lens of chess. We expect rigid mathematical certainty, assuming the machine will always calculate the single objectively correct move. A more accurate model is poker. In poker, players deal with incomplete information, bluffs, and hidden motives. Navigating a poker player AI shifts the responsibility back to us. It demands that we use our own emotional intelligence and discernment to read between the lines of the machine's output. Interacting with a flawed, deceptive peer forces us to reclaim our intuition. Logic has become the machine's domain. Our survival now depends on our ability to feel and discern. The AI singularity represents a profound migration for the human spirit. It serves as a psychological catalyst, forcing an evolution in how we define ourselves. The psychiatrist Carl Jung described a process called individuation. This is the journey of integrating the disparate, hidden parts of the psyche to become a whole, realized being. By automating our labor, AI strips away the persona, the professional mask we use to navigate society. This forces us into an existential crisis that is necessary for growth. This great uncoupling of work from worth provides the friction required for our species to evolve. We are moving away from being functioning tools and toward becoming actualized beings. As the gospel of work fails, ancient spiritual meta-narratives are returning to fill the void of human identity. We see this in the Christian concept of grace, the idea that human worth is an unearned gift of love, granted regardless of our productivity or deeds. At the same time, we find the Buddhist concept of sunyata, or emptiness, the destruction of the professional ego, much like a sand mandala being swept away, allows us to realize our true nature in the present moment. These global traditions act like meridians on a globe. They originate from different cultures, but converge at the same pole, the realization that human value is intrinsic, not earned. The machines have taken over the labor of the mind, but in doing so, they have cleared a path for the labor of the soul. We are finally free to inhabit the